Fall flavors have a way of bringing comfort, and nothing says cozy quite like pumpkin muffins. Today, I will walk you through how to make a batch that's simple, delicious, and perfect for sharing during your Thanksgiving meal. To start off, here's a list of the ingredients. Feel free to pause the video if you need to write these down. I will also mention which ingredients are needed for each step. In case you are wondering what I was using, here is a quick visual. The first step in making the muffins is to mix your dry ingredients together. This includes 1 1/3 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of pumpkin spice, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. Combine all these ingredients into a single bowl and set it to the side. Next, you will need a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 2 large eggs, half a cup of vegetable oil, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Combine all these ingredients into a separate bowl and mix well. Once mixed, you will take the bowl you used earlier with the dry ingredients in it and slowly pour it into the wet ingredients. When mixing these together, I recommend doing a little bit of the dry ingredients at a time because otherwise it will fly all over you. Once fully mixed, set the batter to the side and get out your muffin tins. You can line your muffin tin with whatever you want, but I like to use cupcake liners. I start with lining only the first tin and then filling just that tin with the batter because it's hard to tell how much leftover batter you have for the second tin. When filling your muffin tin, I would fill it up about 3/4 of the way with batter. You want to make sure you have enough room for not only the cream cheese, but for them to rise as well. I ended up having enough leftover batter for about 5 extra muffins, so I lined the muffin tin and filled them with batter. Next, we're going to make the cream cheese mix. So I start by microwaving 8 ounces of cream cheese. It is easier to leave the cream cheese out overnight so it can get to room temperature, but if you don't, you can easily microwave it. It's not that big of a deal. And so when you do microwave it, you don't want it to be too hard, but also not too soft. It should be soft enough where if you push your spoon in it, it'll easily smush down. Once the cream cheese is ready, I add in 1 egg yolk as well as 1/4 cup of sugar. Then just mix it all up. easiest way to add the cream cheese on top of the muffins is by using a toothpick and a tiny spoon. Personally, I like to use the spoons I used as a baby because they are the perfect size. To start, I take a scoop of the cream cheese and plop it right on top of the muffin. Sometimes, depending on how big the scoop is, I'll add a half scoop on top of that full scoop. Really, you just have to eyeball it so there's enough to almost fully cover the top of the muffins for when you spread it out. And then to spread it out, all you really want to do is use the toothpick so there's a evenish layer on top of the muffins. What you don't want to do is mix the cream cheese in the muffin, which I have done before. It does not work out very well, and it does take some practice to get it down. I usually scoop the cream cheese on all the muffins first and then go back and use the toothpick to spread it out, but you can do it in whatever order you want. Don't forget to also add the cream cheese to the other muffins in the second tin. After I finish adding the cream cheese on top, I preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Usually the muffins are baked for about 18 to 20 minutes, but again, each oven is different, so I would keep an eye on them while they bake. While the muffins are baking, I like to pass the time by doing the many dirty dishes I have. Once the oven is fully heated, plop your muffins in the oven. I do one muffin tin at a time, so all the muffins get evenly cooked. To prepare for when the muffins come out of the oven, I like to prepare my cooling rack. The muffins are finally done, and just to make sure they are fully done, I take a toothpick and stick it in the middle of a muffin. If it comes out with batter sticking to it, then it needs to cook longer, but if it's clean, then they are done. This toothpick is clean, so the muffins are done. Now it's time for probably the hardest part of making these muffins, taking them out of the tin without burning yourself. How I like to do this is by taking 2 forks and slipping one on the side of the muffin and lifting it up. I then take the other fork and use it for support to carry it over to the cooling rack. It is not the best way to do this, but I haven't found it works pretty well for what I need. And so don't be frustrated if you do drop a muffin. I have done that many times before. Let your muffins cool for a little bit and then you can enjoy. Perfect for sharing or saving for later, this batch of about 15 muffins are done. Thanks for baking with me.